Hi, everyone. Welcome in. We're going to get started in just a few minutes. Thank you so much for joining the Breaking Into the Game, Spilling the Tea on Internships, Networking, and Representation in College and Pro Sports. This event is hosted by the APTA Sports Section, College and Pro Sports DEI, College and Pro Sports SIG DEI Committee, and I will be helping to spearhead this event along with our chairs, Apryl Neal and Shawna Johnston. As we get started, I do want to just send a quick message to drop your top 3 choices for breakout rooms. We will be going into breakout rooms after this. So the 6 options that you have are NFL, NBA/WNBA, MLB/minor league NBA, minor league baseball, and then collegiate. And then we're actually going to break up the specialty setting and the residency advice setting into 2 separate breakout rooms. So you have 6 choices. Feel free to send it in the chat. And here's an example with the top 3 choices listed here. I'm going to make that adjustment so it's clear. Okay. Here are the 6 options. So you can send your top 3 in the chat. All right, thank y'all so much. Gonna leave a couple more minutes to send your choices, and then we'll get started. Okay, so gonna get started. I have another screen closer to the time of the breakout rooms where if you haven't sent in your choices, you can do so at that time. But we have a tech team that'll be working to get you into the breakout rooms. We are working to guarantee that you have at least 1 to 2 of the top 3 that you sent, but one may be selected at random because we want to make sure the rooms are nice and even. So thank you so much for sending those. So again, welcome to the event. This is Breaking Into the Game, Spilling the Tea on Internships, Networking, and Representation in College and Pro Sports. We have a phenomenal lineup tonight. Let me tell you, we have a lot of great professionals from different settings, all the ones that we sent for the breakout rooms, and just want to thank them in advance for the time and the consideration and also the support that they are dedicating to ensuring that as students and early career professionals, we can learn more about what it takes to be in college and pro sports, but also get those tangible advice to be able to take our steps forward. So a little bit more information about me. My name is Ijjae Hill. I am a recent graduate of Widener University in the Doctor of Physical Therapy program, and I'm also a current Master's of Science in Athletic Training student at George Mason University. So also in a lot of your shoes. Basically today, for the agenda, we're going to start off with an icebreaker. We'll do a presentation as well. This will cover any opportunities to break into sports physical therapy pathways and other considerations. Next, kind of what we just talked about before, we'll go into breakout rooms where you'll be able to network directly with professionals in the field. We'll close this off with the Q&A panel. We have preset questions where we'll gain insights from professionals across various settings, and that way you'll also get to hear from some professionals who you didn't get a chance to speak to in the breakout rooms. And then, of course, we're going to end with gratitude, thanking our speakers, thanking our tech team, thanking our chairs of this committee, and also providing a resource list of professionals who may have not been able to make it tonight, but are interested in connecting with those who are looking to learn more from them. So I also want to give a special thank you again to our panelists. Some of them will be joining us a little bit later, right before we go into the breakout rooms, but I want to acknowledge them now. So we have Dr. Adrian Dixon, head athletic trainer from the Baltimore Ravens. We have Dr. Muhammad Al-Mubaidin. He's a physical therapist and assistant athletic trainer for the New Orleans Saints. We have Dr. Caleb Whitehair, director of rehabilitation, University of Houston Athletics, and also the assistant director of sports medicine, football. We have Dr. Ariana Calderon. She's a minor league physical therapist for the Cincinnati Reds. Dr. Santiago Salazar Ruiz. He's a D1 Sports Physical Therapy Fellow at the University of Arizona. Dr. Michael Zaro, team physical therapist for University of Maryland, Baltimore County, and also serves as an assistant professor for the University of Maryland Doctor of Physical Therapy program. We have Dr. Sherry Walters, who is the Associate AD, Director of Sports Medicine at Texas A&M University. Another slide, I told y'all, we bringing it tonight. We got Dr. Lee Applequist. He's the physical therapist and athletic trainer for Team USA Weightlifting. Dr. Gabrielle Cheney, sports physical therapy resident, Houston Methodist Sugarland. Dr. Dominic Haynes, staff physical therapist, Orlando Health, and residency mentor for Orlando Health and UCF Sports Residency. Dr. Jamal Court, director of rehabilitation and head athletic trainer for Utah Jazz. And Dr. Sierra Berge, Director of Health and Performance, Las Vegas Aces. And lastly but not least, Dr. Chase Chavez, sports physical therapist, Orlando Health, and also the founder of the Sports Rehab Experts. All right, so we're gonna get into it. We have our icebreaker, this or that. So you can use the poll if they're up. If not, we'll use the chat to cast your votes. Here we go, get ready, get your keyboard ready to type. And our first question is, this or that? Are you a beach day or night in the city? What's your preference? Okay, I'm seeing some beach, yes. And it's summertime, it's time, yes, but also some night in the city. Both, back to back, I see you. Yes, both, got it. Thank y'all. Next one. When it comes to doing treatments, are you more of an early morning session? You like to take your people early, or do you prefer to work later at night? Yes. 5 a.m. Oh my gosh. I'm scared of you. Late night? Yes. Early. Got it. Early morning sessions. Okay, next one. Whatever, what I want never matters. Got you. Do you need coffee to survive the day? Always gotta vibes. Yes. Okay, I'm loving it. We vibing. Double shot. No coffee. Period. Okay. Not a coffee hater. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, Cuban espresso. Got you. Okay. And here, this is the extreme debate. Upper extremity injuries or lower extremity? Who are you taking? I knew I was going to see a lot of lower. Both? Period. Yes. Got it. Shoulder. Okay. And this is, I'm not trying to clock T too early, but we're going to talk about this a little bit later. Do you always reach out to build that connection to get the opportunities, though there may be a risk of being left on red, or do you keep waiting until you feel 100% ready? Reach out. Yes, 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 yes. Oh my gosh, I love it. Yes. And we're going to talk about this a little bit later, making sure that, like you said, you're not always going to be 100% ready. So reach out. Closed mouths don't get fed. I love that. Thank y'all so much for participating. So we're going to get into it now. Before we have our speakers here. However, there's some people that I've been able to connect with that may have not been able to come tonight. And I also want to take a chance to, or give an opportunity to thank them as well. So professionals from these organizations have provided their insights that I'll be sharing tonight. And this presentation is really a culmination of everything that I learned and think and people that I've reached out to over the last like month and a half or so. So a lot of this information is inspiration from those that are in the room, but also those that may have not made it. So I wanted to take a moment to thank them. All right, let's get into it. So, two of the many pathways that I've seen, and also two of the many pathways that professionals have provided insight on. The dual credential pathway, when you're thinking about the PTAT route, or the residency and fellowship. So I wanted to shine some light on some programs that may be of interest if you're interested in going either way. The first one is the Accelerated DPT/ATC program. These are a few of the universities that offer this route. So if you haven't started to go to PT school or AT school, it may be a benefit if you would like to do both of the professions and get both of the degrees at the same time in an accelerated manner. I also mentioned that I am a current student at George Mason University, so I feel like they did their big one here. They have an accelerated ATC program, so after you earn your DPT, if you would like to go back and earn your ATC, then you can go to George Mason, and they have an accelerated program as well, where it's 1 year instead of 2, and you're able to transfer some of your credits in from your current PT program, sit down with you, see what may be kind of overlapping, and then you'll be able to save some time, some money, but also be able to get the crux of what you need in order to be a great PT and also a great AT. Next, for the residency and fellowship route, there's so many different options here. And so a lot of them are about 12 to 18 months. Some may be a little bit more. I haven't seen too many less, but could be. They may include collegiate and pro sports exposure. So if you're interested in getting more exposure to collegiate and pro sports, still being able to participate in academia, and also seeking your SCS or any other specialization, then this may be a great route for you. Some fellowship programs, like I said, advanced specialization, for example, MLB and PT fellowships, and then also many universities across the country as well as organizations host fellowships and residencies. The application deadlines would vary by program, but many of them are late fall, early winter if you're interested in applying. Again, these are not the only two ways to be able to get your foot in the door, but these are ways where you can gain exposure and some of the more common ways that I've seen. So, talking about internships and shadowing, I'm gonna at the end of the presentation, I'll send some links in the chat that have direct links to some internships that are opening up. When we talk about the PFAS portal, this is seasonal and summer interns, and I also got some information about things that can help your application stand out, even if you aren't necessarily certified in athletic training. So, there are some organizations where if you have certain things added on to your PT degree, then it can help you stand apart and then also potentially secure a role. The applications open in fall of 2025. And then once you are able to secure an internship, then there's also scholarships available. So always trying to get some additional funds to support your education. Next is the PBAS portal, seasonal internships, and the applications open in fall 2025. They also have a job board. So if you're interested in looking for actual roles within baseball, you can go onto the job board and see what they have available. And a lot of those I've heard will open in fall as well. Next is the Physical Therapy Association for baseball, professional baseball. They have seasonal internships. Applications are actually listed on that website to open between November 1st and January 1st. And there are also fellowships available. So on the last slide, I talked a little bit more about the fellowship opportunities. Those will open up as well. The National Basketball Athletic Training Association, as well as Physical Therapy Association. There may not be as many internships available for physical therapy students. There are scholarships open this fall for athletic training students and certified athletic trainers. And then the last two for the Professional Soccer Athletic Training Association, they do have student immersion and athletic training internship roles. So if you go onto their website, you'll be able to see the list, and then you just coordinate with your institution that you're currently at, and then you're able to get those. And then lastly, there are some performance-based clinics that also have exposure to college and pro athletes. P3 is one. It's based in Atlanta for most of the internships that I've seen, as well as Exos, which is across the nation. So the bottom line, though, that I've heard is to reach out, build connections, and inquire about some of these opportunities. And some opportunities can be created through those connections that you make and through the initiative that you take. I also want to add, I'll go back for a second. Some of the things that can help your application to stand out is just keeping it clean, making sure that there are no typos or any grammatical errors. Also, any type of emergency response certifications that you have can be an asset. And then just general sports experience where you're actually getting your feet wet and working in those settings. Okay, so here are a few conferences that I've found as well and have been recommended. CSM will be in February 2026 in Anaheim, California. These elite rehab conferences, I put that they will be expected in these months for next year because that's where they were in 2025 and this year. But just keep a lookout on their specific website. Normally, it will be around these times, as these are the times that those individuals and professionals will be more available in the off season. And then also ACSM annual meeting that is already set, Salt Lake City, Utah for May 2026. National Basketball Physical Therapy Association annual meeting, and then as well as Emergency Care and Sport Conference, Philadelphia Sports Medicine Conference, and the NSCA, that's within the Strength and Conditioning Association. But it's also good to look at other professions that may help to build your skill set and add tools to your toolbox so that you can strengthen your skills as a clinician. If you know of any more, drop them in the chat. We can all look at them and be able to learn from those opportunities as well. Evidence in Motion is hosting a conference as well. Soon it's virtual and it saves a little bit of coins, $65, and it's the Elevate Sports Medicine Symposium, which will be happening on August 9th, 2025. So, like I said, if you have any more, feel free to drop them in the chat. Okay, so connections are so important in this industry, especially. So I wanted to give 4 main tips that can help with connections that I've learned from other professionals in the field. So number one, be genuine and authentic. Be yourself. Don't try to change yourself so that you can connect with some of the professionals. A lot of them want to see who you are, and you'll be able to make more organic and authentic connections by doing that. Be intentional in what you're asking for. When you connect with someone, it may be good to have a few questions prepared, figure out what are some things that you feel like you can speak to them about, and that'll help to make sure that the conversation goes smoothly. Next, keep it cute. Still maintain your professionalism as you're being yourself, and always express gratitude. A lot of these professionals are taking time out of their day that are very busy in order to speak with you and connect. So just always show gratitude. This is probably easier. Like it's probably goes without saying. Do your research. It's good to look at their journey, resume, and accomplishments. You may not even realize that they went to the same school that you went to, or they may be connected to someone that you also know. So that's not only a mutual connection and a touch point for connection, instant connection, but also can help to show that you did your homework, your research, and thank you for sending those in the chat, and that you're willing to put in the work. And then lastly, staying connected, checking in and following up. It could be as easy as getting ready for playoffs and you say, hey, I'm really rooting for you. I hope that you all do good. Thank you so much for your contributions to the field. And I see you've been working on that with your team. And so they did this, so it can be really simple with just a quick message. One thing that I had to definitely think about to myself is sometimes I felt like a no response or a delayed response means that there was no impact, but that is not true at all. So understanding y'all were right on the money when you said just reach out, you'll never be 100% ready. Don't be discouraged by there being a delayed or lack of response, because sometimes I used to be like, when I was sending a LinkedIn message, you know how the check mark goes to the picture, and I think that means they read it. I'll be like, oh my gosh, they're not going to respond. But some individuals see that, and then they just may not have a chance to respond at that time. Or, you sometimes get a text message and then forget to respond because you get distracted. So still reaching out is an amazing idea. And sometimes you never know what that can get you, because that person will remember that you did what you needed to do and did your due diligence in reaching out. Okay, what will set you apart? So start to think about some things that you have as an individual that will set you apart from the next individual that's interested in pursuing this field. Think about, sometimes there's applications in the hundreds that are sent for these roles. So what will get your application pulled out in the stack of 5 from the stack of 500? Think about how you can build those connections with the individuals that you're seeking to be employed for, or have them as a supervisor, and make sure you know more about the role so that you can perform at your best. So just some considerations and thinking about what will set you apart. It's not all about the certifications, but sometimes it's just about what you do and connect with the people and show that you are a great person and a great fit for the role. So we're going to transition into the breakout rooms. But I just wanted to kind of I think that one of the best things, I can give you all the deadlines and all the opportunities, and that's great. But I think one thing that's important, especially in this field, is sometimes imposter syndrome has the capacity to creep in. So I just want you to know you are enough. This field needs you. This field needs to hear your voice, your expertise. Do it scared sometimes, and y'all are already on it. Apply anyway, introduce yourself anyway, and reach out anyway. Think about sometimes when you're moving, you're trying to get the next certification, the next degree. Sometimes you don't realize to just sit in the moment that your past self would be so proud of how you are and how far you come, where you are and how far you come. And you pray to be in this moment here where you're almost finishing PT school, or you're already in your first role, you're in AT school, you're strength and conditioning professional, you're in the field, you're doing great things in your personal life as well. So show yourself some gratitude, think about the things that you've done, and then just celebrate the small and the big wins. And then lastly, keep pushing. Make sure you take care of yourself, but don't allow anyone or anything to come between you and what you work so hard to achieve. I have a question later for some of the professionals to kind of ponder over what you would say to someone that keeps getting no's. And the answer is really depends on you as a person, but you have to think every no is preparing you for that yes. So don't get discouraged, regroup, get yourself together, get your life, and then now keep moving forward. So those are just a couple words that I wanted to do. A lot of things that I can say about opportunities and initiatives, but I just wanted to make sure that you're also filling your cup as well, which is perfect preparation for our breakout rooms. So as promised, I put the message in the chat here. Want to make a quick note. I'm actually going to go back so we can go to the initial slide. So we're going to split up the last two breakout rooms. Let me go all the way back. Sorry. Perfect. Here it goes. Okay, so we'll have 6 breakout rooms here. If you haven't already, please send your name as well as your top 3 choices. I'll give a couple more minutes to do that. Thank you, thank you. And thank y'all so much for sending in these additional conferences. If there's any other opportunities too that can help the next person, then feel free to send them in the chat before we transition. We'll come back to this main room, but if anyone has any questions, feel free to send them there as well. Thank y'all. We'll just give a couple more minutes for the remainder of the people to send their. Tech is hard at work adding these last couple. Okay, so we're getting ready to open up the breakout rooms. You'll have 15 minutes in the first session, and I'll send a reminder at 10, 5, and 2 minutes. Great. Have a great time. For those who sent the responses a little bit later, we're working on putting you into the breakout room. So just give us a couple minutes. I'm going to stop sharing. Okay, so we're trying to get the last few. I'm going to give some extra time for the breakout rooms, but it would be easier to get you all assigned if you can just let me know your first choice, and that way I can just send you straight there. So start off with Kanan.
NFL or NBA.
Okay, Emma.
WNBA, NBA.
Okay, thank you. Patrick.
NFL.
Okay. Jaya.
NFL or collegiate.
Okay. Mackenzie.
Collegiate.
All right, Morgan.
NBA or WNBA.
Okay. Manny.
Collegiate.
Thank you. Morgan. Oh, Mackenzie.
NFL.
Okay.
Thank you.
Randy.
NFL.
Okay. Grayson.
MLB.
Thank you. Harold.
NFL.
Okay. Zachary.
Collegiate.
Okay. John.
MLB.
Makai.
NBA.
Thank you. Mylena.
Specialty.
Okay. Thank you. Kendall.
NFL.
And lastly, Chica.
NFL.
Okay. Kendall, did you get it? I'll try it one more time. Okay. Whew. Okay, let me make sure. Okay.
Good job with everything.
Thank you.
Yes,
A lot
good
more people than I
job.
thought. Is Ariana here? Let me make sure there's at least one person. She's not. Is anyone able to go to that breakout room and speak? She's not here yet.
What is her breakout?
It's for the MLB and minor league. She was the only person in there, but she's not here.
Oh, hang on there. I don't really know what to say much about baseball. I thought I saw Ari. I thought I saw that name earlier.
No, she's not in here.
Hmm. Was she coming on late?
No, she wasn't supposed to be.
Okay. I mean, you can put me in there. I just talk.
Yeah, I can't assign you because I think you're a host. So can you see if you go to the breakout rooms, you'll be able to select it
Okay, let me find it.
at the bottom.
Okay.
Ijjae, you've done a great job. I'm very
Thank
proud.
you.
I've literally been listening to this whole thing. It's been a little spotty at some points, but I yeah, like honestly, phenomenal job.
Yes, excellent job. Excellent job.
Gosh, I don't know where she is.
Sometimes things too, like obviously it would be good if she communicated with you, but sometimes things pop up. I mean, like look at my schedule today. But hopefully she gets back to you at some point so you can know.
Yeah, it's a lot more people here than what I thought. So, Adonijah, are you able to do the second set so that doesn't happen again? I'm gonna start the time at like 8:32. Okay. '42. What? Can you unmute, please? Here, I'll call you. Hi.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. I'm gonna place you there.
Perfect.
I'll sign you. As soon as these breakout rooms close in a few seconds, the new ones will open. So it'll kind of put you back in your second session. Hey, Manny, what happened?
Breakout room. I was just gonna send you a chat message.
Okay, what happened?
I think I was supposed to go to the NFL one.
Okay, I'll send you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Wait, but it says
I
like
put collegiate NFL residency.
I know I'm trying to figure out where you are. Where are you assigned to?
I was assigned to WNBA.
Okay, let me see. Where are you going? NFL?
Yeah.
Okay, got you. Okay. Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I was in the residency one of the first one. I got put.
Okay.
I was put back in the first one I was in.
Okay, so let me get you Bernard. Where would you like to go?
Could I go to NFL?
Yep. Uh-oh,
Thank you.
where'd you go? Okay. All right. And go ahead, Harold, where would you like to go? Where are you at right now,
NBA.
and then where do you like to go?
I was in the NFL one already, and I want to go to the NBA, please.
Okay. Kendall, I see you. Where would you like to go?
I was in the NFL one last time too. May I please go to MLB?
Yep, got you. Okay, Mylena, where would you like to go?
Collegiate
Okay, where are you assigned to right now so I can find your name? Oh, I see you. Okay,
specialty.
got
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Amani?
Collegiate.
Okay. Where are you at? I see you. And Victor? I don't see him in here though. That's weird. Oh, never mind. Hi, are you in? Were you assigned to the same room? Elia?
I was in a breakout room, but it's like two other people in there. I didn't have any questions, so I just left.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like two people, but it was like four people talking, if that makes sense.
Two
So it
people
was like,
talking.
well, it was two regular, like two people like me, and then it was like four like people that worked in PT kind of area. So it was like no
Breakout
one
room
really.
were you in?
I was in I think that was residency.
Okay.
Yeah. It wasn't many people talking. I think it was residency. I don't know. But I was just sitting there and I got awkward, so I had to go.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Do you want me to assign you to a different room?
Um, what other room? What is it?
We
Residency?
have a specialty setting room, collegiate, MLB, NBA, WNBA, and NFL.
Collegiate?
Yes, I can send you that.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Hey, Mike, you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Sorry. I think I got put into the same breakout room twice.
So where would you like to go? Where were you at?
Um, I was at collegiate the first time. I
Mhm.
was trying to see if I could do like the NBA or
Yep,
WNBA
I
one.
got you. Go ahead. Hey y'all, welcome back. We're gonna give everyone a 60-second timer on the breakout rooms. So we'll wait until everyone gets their final thoughts out and joins us and then start our brief Q&A. Welcome back, welcome back. Okay, so everyone should be back now or on their way back in. Thank you so much for your patience with the breakout rooms. It was a lot to put everybody in the different rooms and try to get preferences in, but hopefully you were able to get in a room where you had some great connecting and were able to learn a little bit more from the professionals in the room. So we're going to start off with a brief Q&A, and we have 2 professionals that are assigned to each question. And they'll just give brief remarks on the question at hand, and that way you can hear from other professionals that you may not have been able to be in a breakout room with. So I'm going to start off by kicking it off with Dr. Caleb Whitehair and Dr. Sierra Berge. Your first question is, how did you build relationships and credibility as a student or early professional, especially when you didn't fit the mold or know anyone in the space? If you don't mind, I'm going to highlight y'all as well.
Caleb, you want to go first or you want me to go?
I'm happy to do whichever one you'd prefer.
I don't care. I'll just
Okay,
go for sake of making a decision.
sounds good.
So repeat the question one more time. I'm sorry.
Yep. How did you build relationships and credibility as a student or early professional, especially when you didn't fit the mold or know anyone in the space?
Yeah, I think approaching every environment with curiosity, no matter where you are, is the most important thing. Like, no matter if you are a student in an environment or like me stepping into a first-time director role with some pre-existing staff, right? Like, never come in like a bulldozer, like you know the environment. Be quiet at first, watch a lot, observe a lot, and then be curious, ask really good curious questions. And I think approaching an environment or even a patient case, like everything, still approach everything with curiosity and try to prove your own assumptions wrong in a lot of interactions. And then I think like really invest in relationship, like, and invest in true, genuine relationship. The people, the reason I've gotten certain jobs is just through relationships that I've had that you've never known will open a door for you someday. And so I think like really investing in deep, meaningful relationships wherever you are, even if it's in an inpatient rotation, like you never know who they know. And so I think everywhere you are, like, be the best version of yourself and invest deeply in relationships, and then like get really good at your craft, right? Like a lot of people are super interested in getting into college or pro sports as quickly as possible, but I couldn't be more grateful for the 3 years in outpatient where I had 25 patients a day and just got a ton of reps, and the hundreds of total knees that I saw have prepared me for this environment more than anybody could know, because I know what a knee going south looks like. I know I've made a lot of mistakes on the general population, and so that has helped hopefully save some of the more athletic population. So like, don't be in a rush to get anywhere, and doors will open when it's time for them to open, but don't be in a rush to get to where you think you want to be.
Yeah, so many good points there, Sierra. I can echo that sentiment on a lot of things. I think just starting off with some things that I probably could have done better, especially as a student. I would have gone and gotten more involved with the sports section earlier on, whether that just be attending events like this, frankly, or looking for volunteer opportunities, looking to go into CSM. There's oftentimes a discount for students at CSM or continuing education events, and just honestly diving in deeper, even deeper, and talking to some of my professors about what it looks like to work in the sports and seeing if they knew people in sports. One of my professors from PT school is actually on the call, Dr. Reagan. I gave him a shout out. Me and him still chat it up and talk shop all the time. I think, as Sierra mentioned, just being the best version of yourself. I think people are really good at seeing when you're not being authentic. And the sports world is a really small world. The deeper you get into sports, everyone knows everyone. And you don't want to get the reputation of being fake or just hitting people up when you need something. I think it's one good thing about building relationships or connections is, again, being authentic, but not being afraid just to chat with someone and ask them how they're doing as a human being. If you're only hitting them up when you want something or you want a connection for a job, that doesn't necessarily make it feel very good on their end as far as building relationships. So just being authentic. And then I always tell people, if you want to work in sports, I feel like you need to be passionate, you need to be competent, you need to be well liked. If you're those three things, I think you're going to have a better opportunity to work in sports and do a good job. Because at the end of the day, you're going to spend a lot of time with the people that you work with in sports. And if they don't like you, I don't think you're going to last very long. If you're not passionate, I think the hours will eat you up. And then if you're not competent, obviously you're not going to be very good at what you do, which I think in the long run will not suit you well either. So I have a long-winded answer, but hopefully that's helpful.
Yes, thank you so much. We're going to transition into our next question. All right, so Dr. Chase Chavez and Dr. Jamal Court, you're up next. Next, I'm going to spotlight you after I read the question aloud. Your question is, what advice do you have for students who feel like they're always being told no or aren't getting called back? How did you stay motivated when doors weren't necessarily opening?
I guess I could start with this one. Um, so there's probably going to be a lot of no's. Probably a few have already experienced. I think the biggest thing is to not get discouraged, but also like I think the underlying thing is don't don't feel entitled to that person's yes. Like just because you feel like you've accomplished all these things in your life and you've done these things doesn't doesn't guarantee you a spot, doesn't guarantee you a place, with any organization, any team, any company. So I kind of want to mention that first. And then the other thing is the no's are gonna come and it's gonna suck and and there is no kind of happy way around it. You just kind of got to deal with it. If you know for sure that you want to work in a specific environment, you have to be patient with the process. You have to kind of go through those growing pains that kind of come along with it. And then like the timing will take care of the rest. Like the universe will take care of the rest. And if it's somewhere that you're supposed to be, if it's somewhere that you're meant to be, then the universe will get you there. And part of that is kind of growing and then learning from the learning about yourself from the no's and just not getting discouraged and just being kind to yourself throughout the process.
Yeah, I'll kind of go off of that, being kind to yourself, because I think it is good to kind of give yourself some time to kind of lick your wounds a little bit, because the no's are going to hurt and it's not going to be perfect. But I think that once you kind of get over it and take your time to get over it, I think the having the courage to be like, all right, I'm going to be okay, and I'm going to go on to the next thing, and whatever that next thing is. I'm gonna work relentlessly at it. I'm not gonna worry about whether they say yes or no. I'm just gonna do the absolute best I can. That's the way to kind of get over it. Because if you become scared of taking the chance and taking the opportunity to get rejected, you're never even gonna get a chance at the job if you don't even put yourself out there. So I feel passionately about this question because the no's hurt, but it just brings you closer to that next yes.
Thank you so much. Next up, we are going to have Dr. Sherry Walters and Dr. Lee Applequist. I'm going to adjust the pens after I read the question aloud. Your question is, when looking at an intern or student applicant, what stands out to you, either positively, negatively, or both? Whoever would like to start.
Sure. I'll go ahead and start. Sherry, if that's okay with you. Okay, sounds good. So, based on my previous experiences, if I was gonna look at an intern or student application, I'll look at the basic things like where they're going to school, what grade they're in, what are some of the experiences they've had. You know, have they volunteered? If they volunteered, what have they done? Like, say, the animal shelter, Habitat for Humanity. Those are just some examples. But one of the things that I'll look at also is, let's say it's a student. What's their job? So that stands out to me a lot because if you're doing something that's like very busy, very high demanding, like say being a waiter or waitress at a restaurant, or if you're working in a warehouse, you know, that's legit hard work where you have to constantly adapt to different changes, take on multiple orders. If you're like say a waiter or waitress, if you're in a warehouse, you that's a lot of lifting and moving. So it shows to me you're not afraid to do like, you know, heavy grunt work. You're not afraid to get your hands dirty. So to me, those are huge pluses. Especially if you want to work in the sports world where you're going to have to take on a laundry list of tasks. There's going to be some manual labor involved. To at least get you started, then where you can build your way up to build trust where whoever you work with will want to trust you with like higher level or more complex cases in a sense. So to me, those are some of the things that stand out to me. And also at the same time, in the cover letter, if you write a little bit about your background and like say where you're from and how you grew up and why that position is so valuable to you, like to me that stands out a little bit because it also gives me a brief overview of like who you are as a person, what's your roots, and then it'll keep me more intrigued to look into you some more. Those are just some of my thoughts.
I agree with everything that Lee mentioned and taking what he said, like from a cover letter standpoint and tying your personal experiences to how those have helped shaped and molded you for what this position is going to be can go a really long ways. I had the opportunity of doing what's called the SEC Opportunity Forum, where each SEC institution picked one individual to go learn and grow professionally in a leadership role to help them advance them in their career. And that was one of the first things, one of the first sessions that they talked about is constructing your interview introduction around that dream job. So based on my experience growing up on a farm and a ranch, my first job when I was 14, I grew these leadership skills that would help me do X, Y, and Z. And so tying whatever your personal experiences are into whatever job that you're applying for and how those might be interconnected. So that was a great point from Lee. Also just on the written materials before you even get to that interview process, the attention to detail is hugely important. I can't tell you how many times I've received a cover letter that said, "Dear Miss Sherry, 2 R's, 1 I, white hair. I'm super excited about being a Houston Cougar." Well, I don't really care if you spell my name wrong. I got a great aunt that I love to death. She always spells my name wrong. But from an attention to detail standpoint, if you don't hit on that, I'm going to be concerned that once you're hired and in place, that those details might continue to slip. And then last names, often people don't get to that point when they apply for my position and they apply for Caleb's position, or they don't change the name of the school or the title of the position. And those things really stand out of like, oh, you're applying for 30 different jobs and you didn't make sure that you sent me the right letter. So just be incredibly careful that as you start to send out a whole lot of applications that you review it, maybe even have a buddy look at it real quick just to make sure that you didn't miss anything because you are looking at 30 different cover letters. And then to Lee's point, we will often look to see on a resume, like when a person first started working. So a lot of times people want to just put what their most relevant work experience is. So their PT internships, all their volunteer experience, like that is related specifically to the profession, but all of those other things matter. And so a lot of times these days we see people that have never actually had a job. They went straight from high school, never worked in high school, went straight to undergrad, didn't have a job, went straight into PT school, never had a job. And so have never had to punch a clock or do some of those menial tasks that ends up being a huge part of what we do. do in sports medicine. And so if you can demonstrate those things, or even if you had a leadership role within those, maybe even teaching the new students as they came into whatever program it is, if you had a work study job when you were in undergrad, those demonstrate leadership skills that are invaluable. And so we look for those things on the applications.
Thank y'all so much. Y'all are dropping the gems. Yes. We have 3 more questions left, and our next question will be answered by Dr. Gabby Cheney and Dr. Santiago Salazar Ruiz. That question is, what does representation mean to you in the sports medicine space, and how do you stay grounded while being the first or the only in the room?
I can start us off here. So to me, honestly, it's been some of the most impactful part, I think, of my experience trying to pursue college and pro sports. I think early on, it wasn't even a thought that I like could pursue this just because it's not something that the people around me and my family and my culture really went out to do. I'm an immigrant from Colombia, and that's not really a thought you really have being from Colombia. Just kind of like, oh, I'm probably gonna grow up and live the rest of my life where my parents grew up. So getting here and seeing for the first time, it took a while actually. I saw it was in PT school. Nick Valencia, he's the PT for the Braves. Seeing another Latino in pro sports, I'm like, whoa, I didn't know that was possible. Um, and it really opened my eyes up to the opportunities, obviously, that you can also make that happen for yourself. Um, so I think that in itself can be really eye-opening for people to just see the possibilities when maybe they don't see it for themselves. And I think being the first, especially I did a residency in Mississippi and interview all sorts of places, and being a 6'6" Latino, you definitely are the first that looks like you in certain rooms sometimes. And that actually was, to me, better shaped with some of my mentors that are in sports that have diverse backgrounds. But initially, it was something that frightened me and made me kind of not feel like I had belonged in some of these environments. So kind of saw it as a barrier early on, but later on, I kind of tried to change my perspective after the guidance from my mentors, and I started seeing it more as an opportunity to be that first. That's like a pretty cool thing, and hopefully be the person that shows that next generation that the same thing that Nip Valencia showed me and many of my peers did. So take it on as a challenge. And I think most of us that are in sports and are in higher learning, we thrive off of challenges. So kind of perceiving it as such and an opportunity to kind of pass it along to the next generation. I think that's a good way to kind of think about it.
Hi, Santi. So I guess for me, I work at a very diverse clinic. We have a lot of different languages in Houston. And so you don't really know who you're gonna eval. But I will say when I do get a patient that is of a diverse background or a person of color, doesn't matter the ethnicity, I do feel like there's a great relationship, a great bond. But I even have great relationships with my patients. I have great relationships with all my patients, honestly. But there's a sense of peace, there's a sense of calmness. Um, I've I can count on like all my fingers how many patients I've had that are like, I feel so comfortable with you. I've had terrible experiences, the white coat syndrome from physicians, and the fact that you listen to me and you ask me all these questions. You are asking about me as a person and not just I'm a number here, makes a huge difference. I work with a lot of kids. And so the kids that come from the high school and they end up coming into the clinic, I call them my chicken nuggets. All of the kids that I work with are chicken nuggets to me. And so I do my best and I do treat them to a high standard. When they come in, they're here to work. Their parents know that they're probably not going to leave out on time. But I want to give them my best and give them my all. And I've formed great relationships with those parents, with those kids. And so I do think them being comfortable in this space matters. I want them to come to the clinic and feel like it's a second home to them. And I do think from a lot of my long-term injury um, surgical patients, they've felt that. Um, how I stay grounded, lots of coffee in Celsius in prayer. I have to pray a lot, especially with the high stress of residency. And I definitely think I do lean on mentors that I've established along the way. A lot of them that I've, seeked that are in positions that I would like to hopefully be in down the line. And so I think having encouragement from those individuals has been extremely helpful. Um, and I would say my biggest thing is like, I think what keeps me grounded and keeps me going is the wins that I get from my patients. When they succeed, I succeed. When they fail, I feel like I failed. And sometimes I do take it personally, but that's just how I am. And so I think that's it.
Thank you so much. We have 2 questions left, and then I'm going to share those last resources. I know for East Coast time, it's getting a little bit late, so we're getting ready to wrap up. Our next question, the next to last, is Dr. Ariana Calderon and Dr. Mike Zaro. Your question is, what's one thing you wish you did sooner in your career? What would you tell your younger self if you could go back?
I know first, something I wish I did earlier in my career was get involved in the APTA and events such as this. I think it's a resource that I don't think I fully appreciated as a student in the earlier part of my career. I think maybe I lived a little too much in my bubble and was maybe too comfortable there. And so I think getting comfortable with a variety of different networking opportunities, obviously the online platform and social media are fantastic because they're often things that are on demand or things that are available. Like tonight, I've met people from all across the country, which has been awesome. So I think getting involved as early as possible and then with a variety of events. And so attending CSM, attending the AASPT events, attending some of the private industry based events. And then obviously the things like the interest groups are fantastic ways to get yourself out in front of different people.
So some things that I wish that I had done a little bit earlier. I'm looking back when I was applying to residency programs, I kind of thought that I wasn't qualified for a sports one, so I applied for a bunch of orthopedic ones as well. And I think it like split my focus a little bit and kind of distracted from some of my interviews. And I wound up doing sports residency, which I was really happy about, and it's what I wanted to do. But I think I could have put all my energy, especially like right before taking boards, into applying to what I actually wanted to do instead of trying to like plan for a backup. Um, and then I wish that was throughout the interview process, I like learned that I needed to be myself more in the interviews. And I didn't unfortunately learn that until more towards the end of the process. And I feel like I was like started off as kind of robotic and didn't show my personality. And they want to know if they want to be around you. They're going to be mentoring you for a year or more. So they really need to get to know you when you're doing those interviews. So try to be yourself. I also am going to mirror a little bit what he said. I wish that I went to like the sports conference specifically earlier as a student because I didn't go until I was presenting during my residency and fellowships. And it was a really, really good networking opportunity. And it would have given me like a better idea of what opportunities were available and like a way to pursue that instead of just kind of blindly trying to figure it out on my own.
Thank y'all so much. And our last question, we're going to end on a high note, and it's going to be answered by Dr. Dominic Haynes and Dr. Adrienne Dixon. I'm going to pin you after I finish reading it aloud. Our last question is, what does success look like to you now? And how has your definition of it changed since you were a student?
I can go. Yeah, this was a tough question because I still feel like I'm working that out now. As a student, it's fairly simple, did I pass my exam? Did I make it to class on time? As later on, it's like, was I able to achieve my goal of getting to residency? And, I did all those things. But now that I finished, I knew that I wanted to be better at treating the athletic population, but I still don't know in what realm that I want that to look like. A lot of people around me are in professional and collegiate sports, but I'm not super convinced that that's what I want to do. So now I feel like success for me is really just being grounded and kind of just recognizing where I'm at and trying to be the best that I can where I'm at, not only professionally, but also personally. Simple things like, did I get my workouts in, the 3 days out of the week? Like that's my bare minimum that I'm trying to get in. Did I get home? I work until 7 p.m., but always have notes after. Did I get home at a decent time to, walk my dog and have dinner with my wife? Did I call my parents this week? Like little things like that, because now working, a 40-hour job that you're there for, much longer, it's a challenge to actually try and balance that with a lot of the personal responsibilities that you have. So I definitely give props to those working in these like high performance settings and stuff like that, because I know it's a big time commitment. As far as clinically goes, just little things, am I providing, did I provide value, to my patients or to my organization this week? I'm a mentor in the residency, so, anytime I get through a presentation that I give for them, it's a big success for me because it's a very anxiety inducing thing. But I try to be better every time I do it. Did I get my article in this week? Did I put people who I feel like were in a position to succeed? If I'm able to do that, just little goals that are helping me get better at my craft as time goes by. So, if an opportunity comes, I'm ready for it. So just trying to keep my head where I'm at now and try to make the most of it.
Yeah, I'll jump in. I think this question reminds me of actually my favorite quote of all time. If serving others is beneath you, then leadership is beyond you. And I think when we all kind of set out to be a leader in our own way, we want to be the best we could be at whatever it is. We want to be in charge of whatever thing it is. You want to be a leader in sports medicine or a leader in physical therapy or athletic training. But I think I was driven in that regard as a student, and that's what success meant to me at the time. But now, I mean, I do consider myself a leader, but not in the way you would think. It's about being humble and trying to, help as many people as we can around us, the athletes, the patients, and impact them in ways more so than just trying to accomplish things to get to a goal. Did you lift that person up today? Are they having a bad day, or did you speak some wisdom, or did you help a student achieve their goal? Did you do some selfless act um, you know that wasn't centered on you? And I think that's what leadership truly is, and that's what success truly means to me at this point in my career.
Thank you so much. So, as promised, I'm going to send those conferences first in the chat. I added the additional ones that were sent just so you have those for your resource. Next, I'm sending a few of the links for the residency fellowship opportunities, some other opportunities that are coming through the pipeline, and any links that I can find that you can apply to. And then lastly, as I mentioned earlier, there are professionals who couldn't be here but are more than willing to connect with any students or early career professionals that are interested. So here are their names and, oh, it's too many characters. Put it in two things. Their names, their email addresses, or any way that they can be reached. So you'll have that as well. I'll also give an opportunity if any of the professionals that are on the call want to send in their contact information, if you haven't already in the breakout rooms, even if you have, everybody wasn't in your breakout room. So feel free to type it in the chat. I'm not sure, April or Shawna, will we be able to get their email addresses from the registration?
I don't believe so.
Okay. So if you can just copy, you can copy and send it to yourself or email it to yourself, whatever works best. So thank you all so much for hanging in there. I know this is a little bit on the longer end. I want to send another special thank you and shout out to all of our speakers, panelists, extraordinaires. Thank you so much for taking time out of your evening to give us some gems and just really give us some support the next generation of sports medicine professionals. So hopefully you learned some things, you made some new connections. I hope it was helpful and worthwhile. I'm going to stick around for a couple more minutes in case anyone has any questions. I'm just going to share my screen one last time for our last couple slides.
I just want to give a huge shout out to Ijjae. Thank you for putting this together. I hope that everyone on this call found it valuable and insightful. And I think that in this process, like the point of these meetings is to, help you guys, especially as young professionals, really gain insight into kind of just different career paths. One thing that I will say is, if you have any questions for April or myself as well, like please reach out. We appreciate that you guys were willing to come on this call. And if you have any other DEI opportunities or suggestions, hopefully you can join us also as well. But if you have any suggestions, please reach out to myself or April. And also thank you to the presenters as well for being here and taking the time out of your busy schedules to help these guys gain some insight. So thank you.
Okay, and our last slide here, would love to stay connected with y'all. Thank you again. This is my LinkedIn if you would like to connect. And we'll end on that note. Thank you so much.